Hey guys, Rushy here and welcome back to another video. As you can tell, since the last video I made, I've had a haircut. At the beginning of this month, I shaved my head. And I don't know if you remember, but in my last video, I mentioned that in the next video I would make would be about my hair loss. Now, I have made a couple of videos talking and discussing hair loss, but I've never made a video dedicated entirely to my hair loss in terms of, what type of hair loss I have, how long I've been experiencing hair loss, and although I've mentioned my hair loss in previous videos, I thought it was necessary to film a video just discussing my hair loss and updating you all on my hair loss as well. So for those of you who don't know, the hair loss condition I have is called alopecia areata. So alopecia areata hair loss is where your hair falls out in patches. So these patches develop very suddenly. There's no real pattern to them, and this type of hair loss can affect any hair all over your body. So I've had this condition for most of my life since I was about 3 or 4 years old. It was quite stable for most of my childhood, and it was only a small amount of hair that wasn't growing. With the nature of this type of hair loss, it's not permanent and it changes over time. So with me, I've had regrowth where hair has fallen out before, and then hair starts falling out in other areas. And oftentimes, when hair does start to regrow, first of all, it regrows with white hairs. So to show you guys how my hair is looking at the moment, as you can see, all of the hair loss I'm experiencing on top has actually developed since the beginning of this year. Before this year, I haven't had any type of hair loss on top of my head before. It was only at the back for many years. And I've also started developing bald spots on the side of my head and on my right side. Not as much hair loss, but there is still some. But most of my hair loss is on the back of my head, and that's where I first began experiencing hair loss, which I shall now show you. I don't know if you can tell, but I've also lost some hair off my left eyebrow caused by alopecia. So yeah, I first contracted this condition when I was about 4 years old, but I only had one bald spot, and it stayed that way for quite a few years, for basically the rest of my childhood. It was first pointed out to me by my barber, but at that time the hair was actually starting to regrow, so it was actually a lot of white hairs in the bald area. Me and my family thought that it was a birthmark. But then, as time went on, I started developing new bald spots, and the hair at the back of my head started regrowing. Then I began doing a lot of research into hair loss, and I discovered my condition, alopecia areata, and it looked familiar, and I thought that's the type of hair loss that I have. So I wanted to get a professional opinion, so I booked a doctor's appointment. I got seen by a GP, and he confirmed that it was alopecia areata that I have. Ever since then, I started documenting my hair loss by taking photos, mainly of the back of my head, where I was losing the most of my hair. But yeah, I didn't know from the ages of 4 till 14. I didn't really know what I had, whether it was a type of hair loss or birthmark or something else, because there's actually no history of alopecia areata in my family, not in my immediate family anyway. I'm not so sure about distant relatives or ancestors going back generations who've passed away. So how has my hair loss affected me? Well, it didn't really affect me much at all when I was younger, because it was always at the back of my head and I couldn't see it, so it was a sort of out of sight, out of mind type of deal. But I also didn't really look at it too negatively when I was really young. I thought it was something interesting and unique about me. But then when I started secondary school, I started being made fun of and verbally bullied because of my hair loss, mainly by a group of girls in the same year as me in my class in school. And that's when my viewpoint of my hair loss started to change. I started to look at it negatively because I was being teased about it. And at the time, I was quite confused as well, because I hadn't been diagnosed with alopecia areata at that time. So it was quite a confusing time, really, because I was suddenly made to feel ashamed of something that you shouldn't feel ashamed of. and I didn't really know what type of hair loss I had, so I didn't really have any clear answers because a lot of people, asked me, what type of hair loss do I have, what's causing the bald spots or whatever, but I didn't really have much of an answer at that time. I stood up for myself, but it wasn't a very pleasant experience, and it began to change my viewpoint of my hair loss, and that's when I started looking at it negatively, and I became very self-conscious of my appearance. And then a couple of years later, when I finally got my diagnosis, I felt relieved in a way because now I knew what type of hair loss I had, and I wasn't alone. Other people were experiencing this as well. I actually joined a support group for people with my hair loss condition on Facebook, which really helped me. And around that time, in my later years of secondary school, a lot of my hair regrew. Plus, I started actively trying to grow my hair longer in an effort to disguise my hair loss. And that lasted all the way up until lockdown, the coronavirus lockdown of 2020. And that's when I really wanted to grow my hair long, and I really did grow my hair long because the barbers were closed and we were in lockdown. So I took that opportunity to grow my hair longer than I've ever had it before. And that's when I filmed my hair loss documentary. Moving on to 2021, another wave of COVID hit, and we were back in lockdown again. So I thought last year I grew my hair really long. I thought this year try something different, try doing the opposite, and I took the opportunity to actually shave my head. It was the first time I'd ever shaved my head, and I actually made a YouTube video about it. And that was my first video of 2021, which is also in my hair loss videos playlist. In that video, I explain how and why I shaved my head. Now, I'm really pleased with how that video was received. It has over 800 views. It has even more views than my documentary. I was hoping it would be the other way around, but hey, I'll take any views where I can find them. I shaved my head for the first time. It was definitely a big change for me, but I felt quite liberated. But at the same time, I did feel insecure even with a shaved head because I felt I didn't meet the requirements, to rock a shaved head because of my slim build. I thought at the time I had this stupid belief that you had to be muscular to rock a shaved head, which is complete nonsense. But yeah, I did start to like the way I looked then. I took a lot getting used to, but I liked it, and I liked how having a shaved head, you couldn't really see my bald spots as much when my head was shaved. But then I actually started getting a lot of regrowth again at that time period, so I let my hair grow back out. And I had my traditional hairstyle, just brushing it to the side. I used to part it a few years earlier, but I got rid of the parting because I found it difficult to part my hair, and I just brush it to the side. And that's how my hair looked basically up until this year. Now, at the start of this year is when I began to lose more hair than I'd ever lost before. So to deal with that, I decided to get a short haircut and a fade, skin fade type of haircut, where you shave the back and sides of your head and let it grow a bit longer on top. And then that's when I stopped brushing my hair to the side and started brushing it forwards. Like, yeah, I enjoyed experimenting with that haircut, and I felt more confident with that haircut. And then I shaved my head for the second time earlier this year, where I found it, difficult to maintain the skin fade type of haircut because my hair grows quite quickly, and I couldn't afford to keep going back and forth to the barber every 2 weeks. And then I grew my hair out again, and then I cut my hair in the skin fade type of haircut again. I went to a couple of different barbers to get the style I wanted, and when I felt confident enough, I actually started cutting my hair myself, shaving the back and sides and letting it grow a bit longer on top. And one time I actually got my friend to cut my hair for me as well. He did a really good job. And yeah, so that's led up to the point where I am now, where I decided to shave my head yet again. This time I'm going to let my hair grow back, and I'm going to let it grow back the same length all over. I'm going to brush it forward and see where it goes. I like to experiment with different hairstyles every so often. So, I'm just going to see how it goes. Now, in terms of treatments, I didn't actually start any treatment for my hair loss until last year. And I got some pictures of the treatment I used. It was a massage oil balm that I used with a specialist shampoo. Now, when I was using that oil balm and shampoo, I didn't notice any more hair loss. I think my hair loss stabilized, but I didn't regrow any hair either. So once I ran out of the oil balm and the shampoo, I didn't renew that subscription. And then I stumbled across this TV series on Quest Red, which is a UK TV channel. The TV show was called The Hair Loss Clinic. It filmed the Maitland Clinic, and what I really liked about the show was they showcased people with different types of hair loss, men, women, and I thought, wow, these people are professionals. They have dealt with people who experience my type of hair loss. So I thought if I wanted any treatment, and to get to know more about my condition, to learn more about my condition, I think it would be a good bet to make an appointment with these guys. And as well, I'm not exactly camera shy, so if they were still filming the documentary or TV series, I wouldn't mind being in an episode, but they'd already stopped filming by the time I got seen in August this year. I met Eva Proudman, who was the female trichologist on the TV show with short blonde hair and glasses. Yeah, it was really nice to meet her in person. She is really nice. And she gave me a lot of insight into my condition. She examined my hair with a micro camera and she prescribed me a minoxidil hair treatment spray, which I have been using ever since. Now, the treatment was quite expensive. The bottle is 110 millilitres, and that cost about just over £80 for just 100 millilitres of the treatment, so it is quite expensive. But since I have been using that treatment, I use it once a day. I was told to use it twice a day, but I only use it once a day because I don't want to run out of the treatment prematurely. I want to keep it going for as long as possible because I can't really afford to be paying £80 every couple of months. But yes, even using it once a day and also taking some vitamin supplements, vitamin D supplements to help build my immune system. And I've been told that my type of hair loss, alopecia areata, is caused by my immune system attacking hair cells. So I'm thinking maybe my immune system isn't as healthy as it could be. So I'm trying to make my immune system healthier. So hopefully that will reduce my hair loss, help my hair regrow better, and also improve my general health overall, which is a win-win. But yeah, from using that treatment and taking those vitamin D supplements, I have noticed some hair regrowth, especially at the back of my head. I'll show photos now. So I am experiencing some hair regrowth, although not much. But yeah, what's mainly changed over the last few years is how I view my hair loss. At the beginning when I was a small child, I viewed it in a positive way because I didn't really notice it that much. I didn't really think about it that much. And I always thought it was something unique about me and interesting. And then when I got into my teenage years, I started losing more hair. I was made fun of by some fellow students in school for my appearance, and that changed the way I viewed my hair loss and it made me view it in a negative way. And then as I got older, I did more research into my condition. I found out, I got properly diagnosed with the condition I have. And I found a support group on Facebook, which really helped me. And then as I got older and wiser, I realized, not to let my hair define me. And hair loss is not something to be embarrassed or ashamed about. And that's really important to know. And I am still interested in regrowing my hair, which is why I'm using the hair treatment. But if it doesn't regrow, I won't be too devastated. I'll experiment with different options. Just grow my hair out as it is, natural. I might experiment with hair systems in the future just to see what they look like. I'm not going to let my hair loss define me, and I actually might use it in a positive way. I am thinking about working in the hair industry, and because I'm experiencing hair loss myself, that puts me in a unique position. I understand people and can empathize with people who are experiencing hair loss, and I am very interested in the topic as well. So working in that industry, it would be very interesting to me and something I'd be very interested in doing. So that is something I'm definitely considering. Growing up, I've never seen many people with my condition. I've only ever seen one other person with my type of hair loss in person, and that was when I went on holiday with my aunt back in 2016 to Spain. I noticed a man, he had a couple of bald spots, alopecia spots at the back of his head. It was nice to see, to be honest, see someone else with that condition. It made me feel not so alone. I did think about approaching him, but he looked local and my Spanish isn't very good at all, so I'm not sure if he would have been able to understand me. But yeah, because of that, I want to be a role model for people with my condition, to put it on display for others with my condition so they know that they are not alone and people with their condition are being represented, and you can still achieve great things and do great things and live your life the way you want to, regardless of your hair loss. So that concludes this video, guys. I thought I'd make a video dedicated to my hair loss, just for any new viewers of my channel and to update you all on my hair. But also, I want to make this video for people who maybe don't follow my channel, who are experiencing hair loss, just so if they see this video, they can learn a thing or two from it and hopefully become inspired from, my experience, and they can relate to my experience. And, hopefully this gives a little bit of representation to people with hair loss, specifically alopecia areata, and raises awareness of hair loss as well. This video will be going in my hair loss videos playlist, along with my hair loss documentary, my head shaving video, and my video where I react to the Chris Rock versus Will Smith situation, which happened earlier this year, where Chris Rock made a joke about Will's wife Jada Smith's hair loss. So this is my video for October completed. I'm still on track to completing my goal of uploading a video every month this year. I've got 2 videos left to film, so make sure you stay tuned so you don't miss the new content I'm going to be uploading in the future. I've also got some new plans for the channel for next year, but I'll tell you more about that in another video. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys, and I really appreciate the support I've received from you as well. Feel free to comment below and share your experiences, if you're experiencing hair loss. Take care, and I'll see you all next month in my next video. Goodbye.